Hello, everybody. How are you doing tonight? I don't hear you. Super. Okay, great. So welcome, guys, in our another meetup in Andersen company. Welcome in our office. Tonight we have very special guest, and our main topic is design, UX, UI design. Our speaker. It's Dziewulska. Alex is the head of product design at Andersen and the principal UX designer at Intiv. Her today topic is planning in design and discovery artifacts. So please welcome Alex.
Hello everyone, it's a pleasure to be here, and thanks to Andersen Lab for inviting me. And yes, we will be speaking about product discovery today. We'll be speaking about why product discovery is important, what kind of value it gives to designers, what kind of value it gives to the business. But we'll be also having some practice. Because, you know, we can see each other in person, which is really pleasant opportunity. Mostly we are seeing only the avatars on Teams, Zoom, or so whatever streaming video platform you have. And since we can see each other face to face, we'll be also doing some practice. So first I will be talking, and I will be giving you some insights into product discovery, and then we'll have a workshop, an actual workshop. So here you have pads and paper and some pens, some markers, some post-it notes. After an hour, I will ask you to grab the stuff, and we will dive into workshops. Okay, so other than talking about product discovery, I want to highlight that discovery is not only an event you can have, a workshop you can have. Discovery is actually a process. So we'll be focusing on how to implement that process in everything you are doing in your companies. If you want to follow the presentation, you can go to menti.com. You can use the code you can see on the screen, so it's 51009335, and you can follow the presentation. You can add some emojis, you can interact with the presentation. There also will be some quizzes and questions that I will be asking you. As Piotr kindly introduced me already, I'm Alex. I'm working as a head of product design in Andersen. This is a software house in Poznań. I'm also working, apparently I have too much free time, or I don't like to get bored, but I'm also working as a principal UX designer at Intiv, also a software house, but a much bigger international software house. I'm also a lecturer at university on postgraduate studies about UX design. I have, oh my god, 20 years of experience in the IT industry. I started as a web designer, so those were the times of dinosaurs, when if you wanted to have a website, you needed to actually code the website. So it wasn't, there was no WordPress, there was no easy CMS you can use. You actually needed to code it yourself. So this is how it started, and then it went through sociology studies, psychology, and UX design, product design, and business design, and here we are today. Okay, so I also want to know a little bit more about you, because I introduced myself, so it would be great to know what kind of roles you are having in your companies. Who are you? Are you working as UX designers? Probably will have mostly UX designers, or maybe some UX researchers, I don't know, maybe other roles. So if you can grab your phones and tell us who are you, that would be amazing to see. No? Sorry? What is it? Code is incorrect. Oh, let me see what's happening here. Let me see. Okay, that's a bummer. 1 second. It's, you know how it is with technology. It has to do something like that from time to time. Let me restart, and please check if the new code is working correctly for you. Hope Works? Perfect, amazing. So now we'll see some answers probably. I'm really curious, who have we today? Yeah, I was thinking like this is, oh, we have delivery managers, amazing. UX researcher, that's a pleasure. Content reviewer, nice. Analysts. Okay, so we have junior UX designers. Welcome to the industry. It will get better, I promise. It will also get more scary, but basically it will get better. Okay, that's amazing. Okay, that's good. That's good. We have actually the roles that are supposed to be in product discovery, the roles that are essentials. Oh, Scrum Masters, amazing. The roles that are essentials to create a proper discovery phase. Okay, but why we are talking about discovery? Why we need to discover things? You probably saw this meme somewhere on the internet. If you start from the left, everyone knows we agree on something. You have a couple people on a meeting, you have one person speaking on the meeting, we will do a project. And everyone thinks like, yeah, let's do a project. But when you actually ask those people, do you agree? Everyone agrees. But when you ask them on what you agreed upon seconds before, everyone has different idea. And this is why we are introducing discovery phases. This is why we are doing workshops, to understand how we see things. Because if I'm saying, for example, let's create an app for delivery of sweets. So let's imagine someone wants to deliver sweets, like you can deliver pizza, but you know, from time to time, yesterday we had Women's Day, so from time to time we would like to deliver sweets. Every one of us in this room will think about something else. Some people will think like, oh, what kind of sweets I want. Some people will think like, oh, how can I pay? Is it by card? Is it by Blick or other payment methods? Somebody else will think like, oh, is it in my range? Can I actually use this service? So we'll have different thoughts. And in the process of discovery, we are aligning everyone, product designers, product managers, Scrum Masters, developers, our stakeholders, our customers, we are aligning everyone on one idea, and we are sharing this one idea. And this is why we have discovery phases, and this is why discovery phase is a thing. So what is discovery phase? Basically, it's a process that should be continuous project from the start till the end of life of the product. So it's not something that you will do once. It happens. We'll be talking about it. But basically, this is a process. And during this process, you are uncovering some things. You are uncovering user needs, business goals, technology constraints, and opportunities. Why am I talking in one sentence about user needs, business goals, and technology? Basically, most of the designers here will say, I care about the users. I'm actually the only person in the company who cares about users. I'm the advocate for users, and my role is to make sure that everyone hears the users' problems, pain points, frustrations. On the other hand, we are omitting business. Business are our customers, the stakeholders who come to us with a project. They have their business goals. They are looking to make a revenue. Every business you have, every business you ever met is created to generate revenue. Of course, we have NGOs, we have charities, those businesses also generate revenue, but for a different goal. But basically, any business that approach you as a professional in product area, they will be looking to get their goals met. And technology we are using, this technology is always, can be always seen in two different lights. One light is about opportunities the technology is creating. So for example, right now we have a huge craze about ChatGPT, about generative AI, and how the generative AI either can break our industry or actually help our industry. I'm on the side that is actually helping a lot, and a lot of things that are boring and repetitive, you can use the bot to do it for you. I think that developers will agree. I know that they are also using this to assist the coding, not coding for them, but actually assist them. But there are also constraints of the technology. So if your customer has very old Magento, for example, for e-commerce, and they never updated it to the latest version. And there's like huge technical depth. The technology will be your constraint. You cannot design, you cannot solve a problem for your customers and for your users because the technology will be stopping you, will be giving you some constraints. What else is product discovery? Product discovery is about defining the product scope. If your customer is coming to you, they have this idea for an app, for a website, for platform or something like that, for a dashboard. They have idea for a whole product. Part of the discovery is understanding what parts of that product we need to build first. What is essential to actually give users enough value to use the product, but not enough effort on our side, so we are not building this for 2 years. It's not the times of waterfall. 10 years ago, 15 years ago, we were able to do this. We were able to actually build stuff when we were planning for a year, building for 2, 3, 4 years, then releasing the software. This is how Windows was done. This is how Microsoft was doing Office for years. And now the lifespan of a product is getting shorter and shorter, and the life cycle of a product is also getting shorter. We are talking about 6 months now. So users are expecting that from the moment they feel the need, that they need this product, to the moment they actually will get bored and move on, it needs to be not more than 6 months. They need to see something. It can be a beta version, it can be an MVP, it can be something small, but actually they want their problem solved. So during the discovery phase, we'll be also looking to define the scope. We'll be also looking to define the features, the priorities that we need to use. So for example, most of the e-commerce apps, most of the websites, is around 20 features. So you have the basket, you have payments, you have search, you have navigation, and you have product page, everything, what goes onto the product page, you have some categories and stuff, around 20 features. But which of these features needs to be built first? So this is also part of a discovery. And also we want to create a successful product. And what goes into successful product, it's not only UX designer discovering something. It's not only UX researchers doing the research. It's not understanding the user needs, goals, habits, behaviors. It's also understanding what our customers want to build and why. What is the current landscape of the market? Who is on the market? Like, what's the competition? Against whom we are playing, what are the trends currently on the market, but we also need to understand what can be built from the technical point of view. Can our developers actually deliver the value? Can they actually build that stuff? And during the product discovery, which is iterative process, we are also looking to minimize the risk. Anytime you are talking to your customers and they are saying, no, this costs too much money, no, this takes too much time, when you are proposing research or when you are proposing discovery workshops or ideation workshop, any creative work, when your customer is saying no, try to talk to them, not about, yes, I have to do this is the design process by the book, this is how it's done. Talk to them about risk, because every project they are bringing to us, they are bringing their idea, and they are bringing money, and they are risking that money, because if that idea doesn't fit to the market, if there's some gaps between what they created as their concept and the market need and user needs, they will fail. So actually doing product discovery will lower this risk, because you will uncover during product discovery what is needed from the user perspective, but also what is possible on the market. How is product discovery similar to design thinking, the process you probably know very well? It's actually the same process. We are just using this process over and over and over again. So we'll be looking through user research, stakeholder research, market research, and tech research to understand the users. Why am I highlighting market research and tech research? Because discovery is not done only by designers. You need tech leads, you need solution architects, you need people who understand the business, product owners, BAs, you need delivery managers. You need those people on the call, you need those people on a meeting to actually sit with you and talk about what we can do and how this product can look like. And of course, we need also the technical side, so developers, solution architects. Then when we already understand the problem, we are trying to define, we are understanding the problem area, we are trying to define what the problem is. There is a lot of products on the market, and a lot of products you don't see on the market anymore because someone made a mistake. Someone didn't define the actual problem. Someone was thinking like, I'm solving a problem, but they were not solving a problem. They just had an idea. And when you are working in startup area, when you are working with enterprises who have innovation hub, it's pretty common to actually find ideas that are, oh, this is what our CEO thinks, came from someone, but nobody checked if anyone on the market, if actual users, people will pay for it, if they actually need this to solve their problem. Because people are buying products, people are downloading digital products because either they want to fulfill their need or solve a problem. So I can solve a problem because, I don't know, I can't switch the lights on, so I will use my Philips Hue to actually switch the lights on. I will solve my problem that I need light, or I will fulfill my need to buy, I don't know, new pair of boots or something. So basically we are either solving problems or fulfilling a need, and we need to be sure that we understand the problem or the need that we are fulfilling. So when we know what is the actual problem, and we know this through the process of research, through the process of discovery, we are brainstorming. We are trying to generate as much solution as possible. And from this huge amount of ideas, solutions, we are trying to pick the ones that makes most sense. How we are doing this? We are trying to make sure that we are putting not too much effort, but we are making a big impact. Because for every problem we can come up here in this room, there are several solutions. You can create an app, but you can use something that is already here in physical world, and you don't need an app for that. So we can generate a lot of solutions for one problem, and we need to make sure we are picking the right one. After we pick that solution, we can prototype it. We can create something tangible. Either this is a prototype in Figma, or this can be something you actually build. We are talking about product discovery, but the same process goes into service design. The same process goes into designing services. If you are designing a service, for example, if you are designing new store, and there should be an experience coming to that store, and that should be someone is welcoming me, someone is showing me around, someone is showing me what they currently have on the store, and then someone is taking me to the register to actually pay. This is an experience. So for example, in service design, you can prototype this kind of service. You are not building, obviously, we are not building a shop for that, but we can use Lego blocks. You can use Lego blocks to prototype internals of the shop, and you can see how the users will be interacting inside of your prototype. Of course, this is just a prototype. It doesn't give you the sense of reality, but this saves money. If this shop is not working, if people don't like this experience, or you think like, oh my God, this corridor is too narrow, we need to make it bigger because people are bumping into each other, you have an idea and you can test that idea. How do you test that idea? You test them with users. You are not testing this idea with your colleagues at work. I know how it sounds. I'm also doing this. We call this guerrilla research or corridor research, and sometimes you don't have any other option because there's no budget, there's like time constraints. I know that, I really know that. But it's better to there's like a saying, just go outside of the building, grab a person walking down the street and ask them, like, can you give me 3 minutes of your time? Can you take a look here? Can you tell me what you think about it? Sometimes it's better to do the minimal research than do no research at all. Why? Because you are not the users. For most services we are building or products we are building, we are not the users. We are not the end users. For example, if you are a coffee drinker, you will say, yes, of course, I can design any app for coffee drinkers. Like, come on, I drink coffee. Everyone drinks coffee. But if you are designing for particular people who will spend 2 hours to brew the coffee and then do some magic over it, and then it's like, 3 drops of coffee, but they are very happy about it. I don't know why. But basically, they are crazy about this stuff. And if you are not as crazy as them, it will be really hard for you to understand why they are doing this way, why there is so much details going into this and so much time and so much effort. And sometimes you will hear from your customers, we know our users, we know who they are. No, they don't. Like, they have the basic business understanding. They are smart people. It's not like, they don't know anything. They know the market, they did the research probably, but they did the market research. They don't understand how one individual from this target group will be interacting with the product. And this is where product discovery, and this is where we product experts, and when I'm talking about product experts, I'm thinking about everyone working in this area. So for me, product expert is a Scrum Master, developer, designer, researcher, and all the beautiful roles that we have in this space. So after we test with users, we need to think about, once again, I'm going to be highlighting this over and over again, because I want this to think. If you are coming out of this meeting with only one thought, I want this to be that thought. That we are not building only for the users, we are not building only for the business, and we are not building only for the technology. And we cannot even build for two of those parts. Because if you are building for technology and users, and we are doing this on hackathons every time, there's someone who loves the technology, and there are even some designers who are helping them build something. It's amazing. Probably it would be groundbreaking, but there's no money behind it. And we cannot get this idea from a hackathon to live product, or it's harder. When you are having only users and business, we can have amazing product strategies and everything should be working, but then we don't have the right technology. Like Meta is struggling right now because they wanted to create a metaverse. There was some buzz around metaverse, everyone was thinking like, yeah, this is going to be next big thing, a lot of businesses invested, but actually the technology we currently have, it's clunky, it's not convenient to go in something very heavy for a few hours around your head. It's like, it's not something that will stay with people. So we need the technology to get better to actually do this. And if we are only thinking about business and technology and we are not looking at the users, we are building something that nobody needs. Like, yes, it will be state of the art. Yes, a lot of money will go into it. Nobody will use it because people don't need it. Like, yes, there will be few people, like 1% of people who will buy it because they are crazy about new technological gadgets, they will pay. But the mainstream, the 90% of people, they will not actually use it. So every time you are doing product discovery, every time you are starting new project, think about this. Think that you need to be taking into account users, business, and technology. Users are represented by product designers, UX designer, UI designers, and they are making sure through research, through data analysis, they are making sure that this is something that people desire. Business is represented by product managers, project managers, BAs, depending on the setting you have in a company, or product owners. They are making sure that the business wants it. There's a business goal behind it, and there's a business strategy behind it, how to sell this product, because we can create amazing products, but we need to know how to sell it. And tech leads, developers, solution architects, those are the people who are actually making sure this is feasible, this is actually something we can build, this is possible. They are bringing the art of possible to the table. Okay, I was talking a lot about product discovery, so let's summarize the value. First of all, you are reducing the risk, so the product will probably will not fail, or there's a less probability it will fail. Uh, you are also reducing the amount of money needed, because if you know what you need to build, it's 2 million euros, not 6, because you know that first you need to build this, then you need to test this against market, and then when the first sales come, you can actually invest in more. You are also making sure that the product meets user needs and pain points, so it's solving problems and fulfilling the needs that users have. You also are making sure that you are not building something that the competition already did. Because if you are building something very similar, of course, inspiration in our business is like day-to-day basis, we have dribble, everyone is copying everyone, you know how it is. But basically, when you are building a product and you are putting a lot of money behind that product, you need to make sure that there is one value, at least one value, that differentiates you from your competition. So users will know, oh, this is the new product on the market I wanted, because this, for example, is solving some problems that the old product is not solving. So anytime you are doing a proper discovery phase, do a benchmarking. See what's there on the market, see what kind of features they have, how they are solving user problems, if they are solving user problems. If you will find any gap in this process of solving, you will find small gap and you can build a feature around that gap. You will get those people. So you will get them from your competition and you can bring those people to your company, to your customer. This is also helping you to identify opportunities for innovation. We build a product, it's on the market for 2 years now. What can we do with this product? Can we improve it? Can we make it sexy again? Because after 2 years, nothing is sexy on the market anymore. How can we make this spark that people will start talking again about Airbnb or Uber? Everyone is using Uber, but are we still crazy about it? Like, this is just a service. I'm using this every day, but am I happy about it? Not really. Quality was like better years ago. So something happened. So what can you do? You can use the product discovery to understand maybe something changed. Maybe we need something more. Maybe we are using car sharing differently right now. The new generation is coming to the market. The Z generation is coming to the market. Alpha generation is coming to the market. Those are digital natives. They were born with smartphones in their hand. They were born in a Wi-Fi environment. There are people who are thinking differently than the older generation. So it's important to understand if something is changing, if there are actually trends that are changing on the market. Okay, you are also increasing the chance of success for the product, and you are creating something that truly meets the needs. So it's not something that is superficial, like for example, every soccer fan needs to track their teams. They want to know the rankings, they want to know what's happening with their favorite players, stuff like that. Yes, this is very shallow, very general. But how can you make a product that will actually make them open this up, not only around the sport event, but also between the events? How can you make them come back? How can you build loyalty and gamification enough for people to come back to the product? And let me go there. I was telling you at the beginning that we'll be talking about process versus one workshop versus a phase. Right now we are doing this in all of those ways. So you can meet a discovery workshop, like from 3 days to 6 months, depending on the complexity of the project. We'll have series of workshops that will discover something, or we'll have just one workshop that will try to discover something. For example, design sprints created by Google, very popular right now. They are a way to discover. You have 1 week working with your customer, working with research, the data, with user data, and you are building something. You are prototyping it, testing, and after 5 days you know more or less what you need to build. So this is a workshop. But you also have discovery phase. So right now a lot of companies Not sure how Andersen works, but a lot of companies that are software houses have something called discovery phase. So we are starting with workshops, research, setting the project, discovery of technical background and setting environment and stuff. And we are designing something, and then we are leaving the mess to the developers. So this is basically the discovery phase. Nobody likes it. Like, yes, we need discovery phase to discover something, but we shouldn't be leaving the poor developers with the mess we created in Figma, because they are lost. Like, what should I do? Like, oh my God, this is how it's supposed to work? Of course, if you are doing handovers that are state of the art, bravo for you. Most of us don't. So sometimes developers get lost. So discovery phase is better than one workshop, for sure. We are getting more time, we can discover more. But discovery workshops and discovery phase are not enough. You actually need a process. Process from the moment that someone comes with the brief, this is what we want to build, through the all initial discovery you are doing, design, delivery, maintaining, testing, until the release, then on the market for a few years, and then the product dies. It naturally dies at some point. And product discovery should be there along the whole process. So when you are thinking about workshops, we can call them differently. You have scoping sessions, kickoffs, MVP ideation, lean inception, thousands of names. Of course, we will have some links if you are interested to know more about those methods. They are at the end of this presentation, and I'm sure Piotr can share them with you afterwards. So when we are trying to do a workshop, we are trying to align everyone on business goals, user needs, and what can our technology do for us, both in the terms of limitation and opportunities. When we are talking about phase, we are talking about immature companies, and we are talking about waterfall approach. I know everyone is agile right now, everyone does Scrum. Yes, everyone does Scrum ceremonies. We have retros and reviews, and we are so happy we are agile. But it's not only that. To be agile, you actually need to say, I don't know anything, I will learn, inspect, adapt, iterate, and so on. So basically, this is a waterfall approach. If you only have discovery phase and then development, this is waterfall. Phase takes limited time, and of course, it can happen at any time. So you can have very new concept and have a discovery phase, but you can have like well-established product and also have a discovery phase to uncover new features. And process is the true agile approach. So you're actually discovering feature after feature, idea after idea, solution after solution. Yes, you build the backlog at the beginning, it's huge, but then after sprint, you are trying to discover more and more and more and understand more about the product, understand more about your users, understand how this product can actually survive in the world of ever-changing technology and ever-changing trends. And also product discovery as a process, it shouldn't end. It should end with the product, but it shouldn't end any time in the process. Who does the job? So who is a part of any good product discovery process or any good product discovery workshop or any good product discovery phase? First of all, cross-functional teams. So you need project or product manager, product owner, depending on the setting you have. You need a BA, someone who can analyze the business. You need product designers, you need tech leads, solution architects, and developers. So you have everyone as a team. And you can include other specialists if we need. So for example, if you are building mobile, you are going mobile app, you are adding mobile developers. If you are creating VR or AR app, you are adding specialists from that area. If you are building something with machine learning or AI, you also need to add this kind of specialist. We have stakeholders. Stakeholders, of course, the sponsor, the most important person, the person you need to convince this is a good idea and you know how to build that. Those are the dragons, but you can defeat them, no worries. It's like, if you know their language, it's easier. If you are talking about personas, customer journeys, and value for the user and user needs, they are not listening. But if you are talking about risk in the project, if you are talking about money, revenue, return on investment, this is when you're grabbing their attention. And this is when you can actually convince the dragon that it's worth it. And they will give you some gold. A project team on customer side. Sometimes it's not only our team in our company, sometimes you are working with someone externally, so they should be also involved in the product discovery. And you should borrow some people from the company of our customers. So maybe salespeople, maybe customer service people, maybe marketing or IT guys. Get those people in the room for at least one meeting and understand their perspective on the product. How easy it's going to be to sell this product. How easy it's going to be to market this product. Do they have infrastructure in their IT to actually support it and maintain it? So basically, nobody will ask them. If you are not doing this, nobody will, because they are living in silos. Marketing has love-hate relationship with sales, sales have love-hate relationship with everyone else. People are not talking to each other. And if you are thinking like, yes, you are talking to your team in project, but you are not talking to the other people in the company. And it's the same for every company. So our customers also are not speaking to each other inside of the company. So this workshop, product discovery workshop or product discovery phase or a process, this is the only opportunity to actually get those people in one room and ask them questions. Last thing that should be part of product discovery is domain experts. So let's imagine we are building an app for health. Any health specialist, let's imagine doctors, you need an app to track their time. We don't know how doctors work. We have the general understanding how doctors work and we know what they are doing, but we don't understand the day-to-day. How they are operating, what's frustrating, what's repetitive, what's pissing them off during the job. So we need to make sure that during product discovery, if we are not doing something very general as e-commerce, but we are doing health, we are doing banking, we are doing fintech, we are doing, I think the most crazy product I was doing was elevators. During 6 months, I learned everything about the elevators. What are the, diameters of the, oh my God, no. It's like, no, let's not talk about it. But I learned about it from domain experts. I was asking people why this is built this way, why this is working this way, why you need to sell this in bundles, why you cannot sell this for meters. Like, come on, this is a line. Why cannot we just cut it? So there is a lot of knowledge behind any domain. So it's good to have a domain expert to explain this. Do we need domain experts on the meetings with customers when there's NDA in the air? No. We can pre-record the interviews. So you can go for any domain experts, ask them a few questions, record the answers, and then show these answers during a product discovery. The same with users. You are not dragging users to your office during product discovery, but you can record interviews, you can have a survey, reports and stuff like that. You can show this. You can show the user perspective during the product discovery. You can use desk research, you can use benchmarking, and you can, of course, also use live domain experts if possible. Okay, what's the timeline? So what does it take? How much time does it take? So usually in most companies, you see the upper one. Very short discovery, very long delivery. Nobody cares later. Like, let's do the discovery because designers want it, and then let's forget about it. We know how to build it. And they are building something for 2 years. After 2 years, we know it's not the perfect product. It could be better. But then our customer got some budget, and they are improving, and we are improving for next 3 years. This is how it usually looks like. The other approach is to put some more time into discovery and to have equal time between discovery and delivery. So we are putting a lot of time into discovering things and a lot of time into delivering this to the market. But both of those approaches, I'm using the wrong button, I'm sorry about that. Let me fix it. Okay. This is the proper process. So it's not about being equal in discovery and delivery. It's about doing some initial discovery to understand the context, because every time you are building something, you need to make sure you know for whom you are building. If I'm building some app for all of us here, so for example, you want to give me the feedback on this. So I'm building the app for you. We are here, it's warm, it's decent lighting, we are sitting, everything is dandy, we can use our smartphones with both hands. But if I'm building for people who are working on construction site, there's heavy sun or rain, they are outside, they have gloves, they are running around over heavy machinery and stuff. It's not easy to do something with both hands. If you are a parent, for example, or you are driving in a bus, you need to hold yourself. So you only have one hand. You always need to be aware of the context that user is using your app. So basically, this initial discovery gives us this understanding. Who is the user, in what context they will be using the app, what's the business goal that we are trying to realize, what kind of technology we have. And then we are supposed to have circular iterative process of discovering and delivering until something goes live, and later we are going on. Like, we are not stopping there. We are just stopping when the product stops living. So initial discovery can take anywhere between 3 days and 6 months, depending on the complexity, on the budget, on the goals. And it ends, like I said, with the death of the product, and it exists both in waterfall and agile frameworks. How to discover? So what kind of activities you can do to actually discover stuff, actually learn about what is needed to be built. You can use user research, and I'm talking about qualitative, quantitative, mixed methods. I'm talking about IDIs, I'm talking about service, I'm talking about card sorting, I'm talking about even research workshops. So research is essential to understand what user wants, what are their habits, behaviors, pain points, motivation, even fears. You don't have to always use only the good emotions. Yes, it's better to use the good emotions, but sometimes in dark patterns, we are not using only the good emotions, so it's good to understand all of them. Rage is also an emotion. When user is rage quitting your website because they cannot click on something, this is also an emotion you need to take into account. Stakeholders research. In classical UX, you are not talking to stakeholders, you are talking to your users. In product discovery, you are actually going to your customer, asking some people to give you 1 hour of their time and tell you about the project, about the role in the project, because you need to map those stakeholders, you need to know who is who and who is responsible for what, who is accountable for what. But you also need to understand what they think is a success. So how they will measure if what you are doing, the app you are designing, the app that you are developing, how will they know this is a success? Of course, tech research also, so we need to understand what is possible from the technical point of view. And this is also an activity that is really important to keep everyone on track. So discovery phases are messy. We are creating a lot of artifacts, we are changing those artifacts. Project managers hate us, they think this is stupid, and it creates a mess. Yes, it creates a mess, but if you are documenting this right, if you are creating persona, customer journey, user flows, wireframes, if you are creating actual scope, if you are creating user stories, which are our language that we are using between designers and developers and rest of the team, if you are using those artifacts during the product discovery, you will contain the mess and you will get a lot of value. What else? We can use several workshop methods. So we can use Design Studio. It's a method that is going to help you generate a lot of ideas, and also it will help you to get everyone into design. So developers and your customers, everyone can design with you. Lean Canvas, very simple framework you can use. You can actually document everything you find out during the product discovery phase or product discovery workshop on Lean Canvas. This can be your living document about what we are doing in the project. Assumption mapping. Assumption mapping, also workshop technique to establish gaps in the knowledge and follow on those gaps, do a research if we don't know something. MVP scoping, this is also a very popular part of discovery when we are trying to find out from those 30 features which of them will be built in first year, which of them will be MVP, which of them will be phase 1, phase 2, phase 3, and so on. Design sprint, I mentioned before, the framework from Google. But there are many, many more. I'm not going to read that, and I encourage you to read that later. This is why you have access to that presentation. But basically, everything that goes, I just want to show you that product discovery doesn't have to be boring. You can use it. You can use different methods every time. You can spark interest in your customers, in the product teams, so you are not using the same things. And also you are not using the same things because sometimes you have a different goal. It's not always creating new concepts, sometimes it's validating the concept. Yes, this is the second slide and it goes on, a lot of them. Some most popular like business model canvas, probably you know, persona, SWOT analysis, and you can even check how to position and how to give communication around your product. So for example, you can work with marketing to uncover how they are going to market that product. A crucial phase, crucial part of any product discovery is putting priorities. You can use several methods. I think Moscow is the most popular, probably you know it. So we are basically categorizing everything in must-haves, should-haves, could-haves, and want-haves. The want-haves never happened. The could-haves also never happened. Shoulds, maybe if they are lucky and there's a budget. So focus on the must. With RISE scoring, with impact effort matrix, there's several methods. Most of them are matrices or some kind of equation, but there are several factors you are taking into account. So for example, in impact effort matrix, very simple matrix to be honest, you are thinking how much effort is going to go into that. From the business point of view, so how much money, from the technical point of view, how much coding and how much time, and from the design point of view, how much we are going to, how much we have to make in Figma, how many components, how many libraries, style guides, and so on. So how much effort, and then you are thinking, okay, we are putting so much effort, does it give us the impact we want? So are we actually solving some problems for our users? Yes, we are almost finishing, and yes, we are almost going into the phase of practice, which is actually the exciting part. Principles, how to actually do a good product discovery. User-centered approach, so yes, user is still in the center. Yes, we are talking about business, yes, we are talking about technology, but the users are the most important because at the end of the day, they will be paying for it. If you are having B2B customers and they are coming to you and they are saying, no, 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 I'm paying for this. No, in the long run, this is the end user who will say, I will not use it. Look at the frameworks, like we have a Stripe for payments. Developers love it because the documentation is very simple. It's very easy to actually implement Stripe. But there are other methods. There are other products that can help you with implementing payments in your e-commerce or SaaS products. People are not using them because they are poorly designed, poorly created, poorly developed, poorly coded, and poorly documented. So it's really important to actually make sure that you are taking care about the end user. Process needs to be iterative. So even if you have one workshop at the beginning, try to check in 3 months, in 5 months, try to talk to the customer if you can do something more, if you can iterate on the discovery, maybe something changed, maybe you will discover something more. Always it needs to be cross-functional collaboration. If you have one stakeholder and one designer, don't waste your time. Like, make a call, talk to them, they will give you the requirements, that's all. But if you can get more people into the room, you can actually create product discovery. Of course, it needs to be data-driven decision. So if we discover something and we really want to build it, but the data tells us something else. The data tells us like nobody will buy it, it's too much effort, let's not build it, even if we really, really, really want to. And it's really hard to challenge the customers, but sometimes the best thing you can do is to say to the customer, it will not work. I'm sorry, it will not work. The data tells me it will not work. Some customers will believe you. They will be happy that you spared some money that they will be losing. Other customers will be pissed, they will still build the thing, probably they will go to the different company and they will fail. But they will remember that someone was trying to stop them. They will remember that someone was challenging them and someone was right. So sometimes it's good to have that investment in your relationship with customer to tell them the truth. Always be very flexible. Product discovery is messy, you will change your mind, you will see in a moment when you are be doing the workshop, that you will be changing your mind a lot. It's okay. It's okay to change our minds, but at some point, we need to make a decision and stick to that decision for some period of time. And focus on value. Don't build something because, I don't know, someone tells you to do. See if there's a value. If there's a value because you will learn something. If there's a value because someone will actually buy it. If there's a value because it will change the way we are interacting with the world. Look at Airbnb. Nobody was thinking that we can go to strangers' apartment and sleep there. Nobody was thinking that you can go to the stranger's car and get a ride and actually get somewhere from A to B. It's like a few years ago, it was not possible. A few years ago, we would be working from the office. We didn't know the remote work. It was only for special cases when someone was pregnant and was having babies or was sick or something like that. We were not working from home. We were working from offices. So you need to understand if you are actually tracking these changes and you are actually bringing a value. How can product discovery fail? Because it can fail. Like any other process, any other workshop, it can fail. If you are not focusing on actual users, but you are focusing on assumptions. We all have assumptions. We are humans. If you are looking at me, you are seeing this hair, you are seeing how am I looking, and you are like, okay, she's over 40, red hair, attention seeker. You have some assumption. It's okay. We are humans. I also have some assumptions about you. So if we are only going to this level of assumptions and biases we have, we are not building for users. We are building for nobody, because the assumptions and the biases we have, the stereotypes we have, they are not actual truth. So every time product discovery fails, it fails because we are not focusing on users. If you are skipping or not giving enough priority, not giving enough time or user research, it can also fail. If you are not involving stakeholders, if stakeholders are outsiders, only looking in if you show them Figma design, they will say no, they will challenge you. But if they are part of the project, part of the process of discovery, they will actually be your ambassadors. They will be the ones going to their bosses, telling them, we need more money because this is amazing, we can build something great. But they need to be involved. We also cannot be too rigid. So if there's a change, it's like, oh, let's not pivot, it's too late in the project, it's better to deliver. Sometimes it's not. Sometimes it's better to pivot in early stage and don't get the cost, because if you are pivoting at the end, the cost will be enormous. Over-reliance of data. Oh, I just said that you need user research, and now I'm saying don't rely on data, but over-relying on data. Get the context, like understand what's going on and think about qualitative and quantitative data. Don't just get data from your analytics app and say like, oh, this is why. No, you don't know why, because if you are using qualitative data, you know why, but if you are using quantitative data, you only know what's happening. Stopping too early, that also happens, like we are doing product discovery, we think we have enough, but then we are learning, no, we don't have enough. We need much, much more knowledge to actually deliver the value that our business is expecting. Over-discovering and not validating enough. That also happens. Like at some point, we are so happy with the discovery process. We have researchers, designers, we have whole teams working together. Everyone is so hyped. If you are doing design sprints, you will learn this. Like after those 5 days, we are best friends for life. We are exchanging phone numbers and we are sending greeting cards and holiday cards to each other. But we are so focused on the discovery, we are not validating. We want to discover more and more and more. But at some point, you need to discover, and then you need to validate with the users. If the thing you just discovered in prototype, is it something valuable for the users? And handover. A lot of things gets lost in translation. So if you are not involving everyone at the beginning and you are just handing over the work, a lot of that work can be lost because someone understands something differently, some documentation is not so explicit. So you need to make sure that everyone is involved very early. Okay, I'm curious. if you remember anything from what I was just saying for 1 hour, so I will invite you to take part in this short quiz. 3 questions, I think 3 questions. That's what I remember from this presentation, that there were 3 questions. So please tell me, what do you think? I will show you the correct answer in a second, but tell me, what do you think is the common workshop for generating new product ideas and features? Okay, we have SWOT analysis, we have design studio, we have some user testing. Card sorting is not popular. But, yeah. Let's give it a minute so everyone can actually jump in. Okay. Okay. We are getting some, probably from online users. Okay, let's give it a moment. Okay, SWOT analysis is rising. Someone is Googling, like, okay, can I use this answer actually? Yeah, Google, that's okay. Right now we are living in technology age and we are living in age of information. It's okay to Google, it's okay to use ChatGPT to check your answers, but it's not okay to rely on them. Always use your own brain and your own cognitive capacities, but it's okay to use tools. Okay, let's see if those who are Googling SWOT analysis are right. And guys, actually, no, the SWOT analysis is activity. It's not the whole workshop, it's one of the activities. And you cannot generate new ideas. You can actually analyze the competition and yourself. With SWOT analysis, you are checking the strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats to your business or to business of your competition. So it's not that, it's Design Studio. Congrats to those who voted on that one. Okay, so which of the following is a common framework for priorities of features and functionalities? And we have impact effort matrix, customer journey map, mood boards, and persona. Okay, now we are agreeing with each other a lot. Okay, we have clear winner for now. Okay, that's reassuring. That tells me that you are actually listening. Thank you, that's amazing. And yes, impact effort matrix is the common and very simple framework you can use to set priorities to your features. Okay, let's practice. So right now I will tell you a little bit about Design Studio. What is this method? Why we are going to do this? It's a workshop method, and it's a workshop method used really commonly in product discovery. It's mixed with other methods, but basically we'll be learning the let's say, basic version of Design Studio. It allows you to co-design with people in the room, so you can co-design with your stakeholders, you can co-design with developers, designers, everyone you can get involved. If you can draw a line, if you can draw a circle, if you can draw a square, yes, you can design. It doesn't have to be pretty, it can be a sketch. It doesn't have to be scary for Scrum Masters and delivery managers and business people. It's not scary, everyone really can design. I'm working in this industry for 20 years. I'm terrible at drawing something. So basically, you know, squares, lines, circles, that's enough. Triangles from time to time. Who should be involved in the design? Like I said, everyone you can get in the room, get them in the room. How much time? That depends on the complexity of the problem and depends if you are using additional methods. If you are using additional method, it will get longer. For basic, you need 1 hour, more or less. You will start with a brainstorm, so you will be thinking like, okay, what can I actually build? Then you will be making some notes and some sketches, and then you will be presenting. So we'll be looking for brave volunteers to show us what they created and why. Then we'll be thinking like, okay, we are working alone, then we are working in pairs, and then we are working in groups. With one person, you have only your idea. With two people, you will have to agree on something. With a group, It's not so easy. It's not like this or that. There's a lot of pieces that you need to put together to create a bigger picture. And of course, you need to get some priorities because you will, at the end, you will get this kind of paper for a group, and you will have to, fit everything on that piece of paper. Okay, so for every workshop, we need a challenge, we need a goal. Guys, grab the pads we have here on the table. There are black pads, you can get them like, this is the pad that I'm talking about, I will be showing. So pads for you to, it will be just easier. Get a piece of paper, get something to draw, actually, and maybe get some post-it notes because, it's UX workshop. So basically, it's good to have post-it notes. So yeah, I encourage all of you. I will be not passing this to everyone. It will be a mess for a second. I'm sorry for the online viewers. It will be better in a moment, don't worry. Okay. For the online viewers, you can, of course, participate in the workshop. So you can grab a piece of paper, some marker or pen, doesn't matter. You can open a Miro board if that's convenient for you, or you can use Figma. But basically, you need something that you can sketch on or make notes. And it will be harder for you because you will not have second person or a group, but still you can follow what we are doing here, and I will be doing a lot of commenting for you to understand what's happening here in the room and what they are actually doing. Okay, I think most of the people have their pens, papers, pads. I'm just waiting for last few people to sit down, and we can start for the practice. Okay. Guys, let's imagine there's a world where actually the Marvel universe with all the superheroes and monsters and villains and, catastrophic events actually exist. In this world, there are superheroes, but there are also normal citizens. They are living in cities and villages. They have their own small problems that we currently have. On top of that, they also have problems with superheroes flying around, with monsters dropping in and out, with kitties getting lost on the trees. Usual and unusual stuff. There are occasional black holes, stuff like that. So imagine a reality like that. So we have superheroes, we have citizens, but we also have city services. So there is police and there is firefighters and emergency services and doctors and nurses. All that stuff we currently have. But imagine there are different services, because if you have to clean up a black hole, it will take something more than we currently use. So get your imagination running wild. It doesn't have to be serious. You will still learn the method, but it doesn't have to be that serious. From time to time, we can have fun. So let's have fun and let's design solution for this challenge. So let's imagine we have superheroes. They have very different superpowers. They are those like Superman, so, lasers from the eyes, flying, superhuman strength. But we also have those weak superheroes. They have some crazy powers, but it's, like, I don't know, making small clouds out of their hands or making plants grow, something smaller. So imagine it's not only those superheroes you know from the movies, but basically some mutants maybe. It's your imagination. Whatever you create will be okay. And they want help people because they are superheroes. They are nice people or beings. So they want to help others, but they don't know how. How can I, here, if I have some superpowers, know that something bad is happening, I don't know, in another country, in another city, 2 kilometers from here? So they don't know where they can actually help. With citizens, They are stuck in very crazy world, so it's scary. They are dealing with day-to-day problems like bad job, bad boss, or not enough money and, economy going crazy. They are also dealing with, I don't know, they are falling in love, they are eating pizza, they are going to movies, they have friends. So basically the usual normal life. On top of that, they have monsters and they have problems and they have villains running around. So life can get a little bit crazy for them. And they don't know how to call the superheroes. They don't have bad signals for everyone. So basically they need some way to alert the superhero that something bad is happening to them and they need help. And they don't want to call Superman for a cat on a tree. Probably he will not be happy. So they need to make sure they are calling the right superhero for the problem they currently have. City services, they are, oh my God, they are in a mess. They need to deal with a lot of problems. They are dealing with panicked citizens, they are dealing with villains, they are dealing with superheroes. They have problem tracking all the catastrophes, and they also have problem because when the superhero is done, probably there's a mess. Imagine Hulk in New York. There's a mess afterwards, so they need to clean it up. So this is the world you are living in currently in your imagination. Hold that thought. And for 5 minutes, I will count the time. Sketch a solution. You can sketch a website, you can sketch an app, you can sketch something else. You can note if you don't want to sketch. If after my very heartfelt story about that everyone can sketch, if you don't want to sketch, note. But for 5 minutes alone, don't talk to anyone, focus. For people online, you also get a piece of paper or go to Miro, and for 5 minutes, just note or sketch the solution for this crazy world. Are you building for superheroes? I don't know. Make a decision. Are you building for citizens, or maybe you are building for everyone? Make a decision. It's your decision. You got the brief. This is a crazy world with 3 user groups. They have different problems. Fix them. Think what kind of problems. Maybe there are more problems than I was thinking about. Make some notes and sketch. 5 minutes, guys.
I'm sorry, could we get the previous slide?
Sure? Of course. And for those listening to us online, let me know if I'm interrupting too much to those here. But when you are thinking about this kind of problems, think who those people are. Are there make a decision you are building only for one of those groups, or you made the decision to build for all of them? Think who they are. Think in what kind of context they will be when they will be using your solution. The Superman will be flying, the people will be running around, there will be some catastrophe running after them. The services will have not enough time, they are underpaid. Even in world with superheroes, probably the city services will be underpaid. So think how they are interacting with the world. What will be happening around them? What will they hear? What will they see? How they will interact with the world. Also think when this will happen. Will this happen around the clock, whole day, whole night? Will this happen only periodically? What will happen only periodically? Think about what's the most important feature to actually design. Do we need to call the help? Do we need to do something else? What is the most important feature? Build your thoughts around this. You can use a lot of frameworks. So for example, there's a framework, 5 Whys and 1 H, when you are thinking where and who and why and what and when. And then you are thinking how. So you are thinking who is having the problem, where they are having the problem, when they are having the problem, why they are having the problem, and then you are thinking how to fix that problem. And how will you know you were successful, that you actually solved that problem that someone was having. Okay, guys, 1 more minute for sketching. So final thoughts, final notes. What is important in this part of the workshop is actually getting everything you have in your head without any critique, without any shame. Just get it out of your head on the paper. It doesn't matter if it's a crazy idea. This is a crazy challenge. And even in a real life situation, you will also sometimes have this kind of crazy challenges and you are thinking, oh, should I build this the usual way? Or if I go a little bit crazy, maybe I will innovate. Maybe I will create something that doesn't exist and will solve a lot of problems and will make a hype. So basically, don't limit yourself. We will limit ourselves later when we will be working in pairs, when we will be working in groups. But for now, don't limit yourself. Go crazy. Okay, a few more seconds. I will be coming back to that slide to help you, but right now, time is up. Put the pens down, and I'm looking for some brave volunteer to tell us what they created and why. Just tell us a story. I'm a researcher. I can deal with awkward silence for hours. So, please.
Oh, my idea is that we create
Oh, thank you, perfect.
So hi. So my idea is that we create an app like Waze, Yelp, Google Maps, and we can have layers. So supers can have layers for infrared, where they can see several layers, like deeper down in the sewage. City services, like I need to go to Pizza Hut, something like that, or Żabka. They can receive signals from police or civilians, and they can also have a layer just to track down villains or suspect activities. And they can navigate, like with GPS, because it's not because they are supers that they know where things are. And basically that's where I stop.
Okay, thank you very much. So, with layers, okay, please go. You have different idea?
I guess that many of us made the idea with the app, probably. So, yeah. Okay, thank you. 1, 2, 3. Okay, so mine is also the app, but the difference is that it should recognize what is the emotional state of the person that is calling for help or like trying to solve some problem. I got the concept how it could analyze these issues. Maybe it's not the moment to get into the technical details, but anyway, through the interactions, it could analyze what is the need, emotional need. I mean, real. So what's the real state? Like if somebody is like thrilled or like angry, or so that's why we need. Then we can address it to another superhero. Then halfly automatic, it can connect with a superhero that is suitable for this kind of emotional but concrete, as I said, needs. And then it would be more funny if the superhero could answer to this text. But I think that it should be automatic to make it faster. Okay, and what else should I need about the features? And
yeah, anything you want. It's your story.
okay, and okay, so that's the first thing, the emotional analysis, then connection with the proper guy. Okay, maybe not to make
Okay,
it too,
okay,
too long.
fair
I will
enough,
just pass
fair
the
enough.
phone for the
Fair
next one.
enough.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. And you already see two ideas with layers and another idea with tracking emotional state and responding to the emotional state, probably some smart band or something. But yeah, let's not go into details. That's amazing. We have 1 more minute. Anyone else? Please go.
Hi, so that's actually funny because for 4 years I was working for public safety company. So I can relate. And my idea is not only an app, but a proposition both for citizens and services, which is a super plugin for 911 calls or whatever number we're using in the country. That will help dispatchers to dispatch some extreme super situations to the available superheroes that they have on the list. But for users, for like regular citizens, if they really know that it's something super and just calling 911 won't be enough, they could have an app in where they could send a video or a picture of what is happening, because this is the biggest problem currently without super problems, that usually people are calling for emergency in non-emergency situations. So we could use a visual technology and maybe videos from city cameras based on the location to identify if this is really a super situation worth bothering Superman or person like that. And we could do this based on video recording and pictures, but also we could probably propose them like a list of typical threats that already happen, like Loki or aliens. There would be probably already created patterns for a situation like that that could get higher severity. But if it's something unknown, then the AI could first verify if this is something that really requires those special people.
Perfect. Thank you very much. And you are seeing different approach here. This is a system approach. Like, we are not only solving problem for individuals, we are solving the problem for whole system. Okay, that's amazing. Thanks to our volunteers for sharing with us. Okay, guys. So right now, take a look to your right. Find a person next to you, basically, and work with this person. Say hi, say your name, and now you have 5 minutes to actually sketch in pairs. So compare your ideas and try to make one idea. Okay, end of time. I need to grab your attention for a moment. Done for now, done for now. Stop the creativity for a second, but guys, it's so amazing to see you. This room is buzzing with creative people and listening to your smiling and laughing and sharing your ideas. It's really amazing. Last 3 years, I was running this workshop mostly online. It's not so much fun. It's a very different experience, so thank you. I have different challenge now. Who can tell me, not about what you created, tell me how you collaborated, what was important, how you made decision. Tell us, give us some insights so everyone in the group can learn how you made the decisions, how you made two separate projects into one idea. Come on, there needs to be some volunteers who wants to share their work.
I might.
Okay?
Okay. So, in our case, we were trying to see how the ideas are, like, how close they go together, and does one of these includes the other, or is like a kind of a small part that is more specialized. So that was in this cooperation, that was the case, and we were like open to understand what's the scope of project of my friends, and each. I mean, I joined them a little bit later, so there were like three projects. Yeah, I guess.
So basically,
But
you
you
were
also
the
have your
customer
separate,
coming late to the party and.
No. I just were. Everybody reacted very fast, so because the idea was excellent, so it was not easy to connect, and so we establish which parts of a project are inside the other project, and how we can all make it work together with listening, understanding, and then selecting what we focus on.
Perfect, thank you. So, democratic approach. Did someone take a different approach? Maybe we have some autocrats here, or dictators. Okay? So no, judging from how much fun you had, probably all of you were trying to be democratic. What's really important in this part of the workshop, and I'm also speaking to people online, I'm sorry, it will be loud, so I cannot tell you some details, so I will tell you now. What's important in this part of the workshop is actually getting you don't know each other, like not everyone knows each other, so there are different personalities, you're coming from different background, and you did make it work in 5 minutes. Imagine how much you can achieve with product discovery running for a few weeks. So how many ideas you can generate and make priorities, still having fun. It doesn't have to be very serious. Okay, right now I will ask you to count to not 4 but to 6. So starting from Alicia, because I know her, like, spoiler alert. Alicia, 1, 2, 6. Okay. And so on, please. 4, 5, 6. 1. 4, 5. Okay, and 6 there. And the last round, please, there. Guys, people with 1 goes here, people with 2 goes somewhere. Just find your group. Find your group. And you have 10 minutes now. Grab this big piece of paper here. For a group, grab it, take it, and work with your group for 10 minutes to create one cohesive idea from all of your ideas. Create one idea that is consistent and solves the problem. Yeah, terribly lazy. Okay? Does everyone have a big piece of paper? Does everyone have their group? Okay? Two is there. I think twos are there, over there. Oh, five. Oh, there. Make it work. Floor is fine. Pewnie, tak. Okay, everyone, time is over. I'm sorry about that. I'm sorry. No, no, 5 minutes. No, the time is over. In projects, the time is also over at some point. The budget is over. And the pizza is coming. So, guys, we need to stop for now. No, no, like, no. No, guys. Come on. We need to finish this before pizza arrives. I want to ask you, one group, tell me who had fun. Like one group that really had fun. Okay, this group. Guys,
Please wait for
tell
microphone.
us about your project. So present to us what you created and tell us why you did have fun. Show us what you have. Come on, come on, show us what you have. Please be silent so we can hear each other. Thank you.
Właśnie, jak to zwykle się odbywa w researchu, nie zdążyliśmy z UI na tę chwilę, dlatego właśnie będziemy tu prezentować na takim, powiedzmy, koncepcie. Czyli mam tutaj wersję minimalną, taką jeszcze swoją. Postanowiliśmy, że zacznijmy od userów końcowych, czyli citizens, którzy będą zgłaszać te wszystkie katastrofy, anomalie i tak dalej, że oni muszą mieć taki przycisk, taki większy, wiadomo, żeby każdy zauważył, żeby dodać jakiś issue i wtedy będą dostawać podpowiedzi, takie, co najczęściej się zdarza. O, przepraszam, muszę po angielsku chyba, tak?
That would be nice.
Okay, so we were discussing it in Polish, therefore my brain hasn't been functioning in English. Okay, so we have like the main group of our users, the citizens, who would obviously add all of the issues. So yeah, there would be a button for them to do so. There also would be some issues that happen most often. For example, I don't know, aliens or all this cat on the tree. So something like that. They would be able to choose a category and yeah.
I like the name.
Yeah.
Frequently happening disasters. Perfect.
Yeah. So from that point, it would be analyzed from the emotional point of view, as we all agreed. Also, and later passed to either city planners or superheroes. Also, there would be an available map of superheroes in the chosen area, because obviously they would need to know whether or not anybody is coming to help. Yeah, and also there would be some pending issues, for example, which they have added but have not received any help.
Okay.
Yeah, and from now on I'm passing the microphone to the next team member who will tell you about the superheroes.
Yes, only at the beginning we need to validate those superheroes. So we were just thinking about this feature at the beginning.
Okay, that's great.
Something more or?
One funny thing that we thought that maybe to become a superhero, you have to be supported, but by somebody that already was a superhero, like
Nice, like a
authorization. Yeah.
Okay, perfect. Thank you guys for sharing. So now tell me, why did you have fun? Like, what was about your collaboration that made you actually make fun and have fun and, you know, laugh and work together? So you have had fun, but you will not share with others. Okay. Okay, fair enough. Do we have any group that was experiencing some problems in collaboration and they want to share why they had problems? Like, you know, those are the positive examples how can projects go, but there are always the negative examples, like maybe you had troubles reaching out the consensus, what you are building or something. No? Only lucky groups and happy groups? Okay, if we only have happy groups, I need one more happy group to share their idea and tell us what made it work and why did you have fun? Okay, please go.
Okay, we have like we have for something like Uber. For example, there is site of drivers and there is site of passengers, and there is the site of drivers. They are superheroes actually in our application, and in their profile they choose the superpower they have. Then they choose next step. They choose the problem they can fix, and also the how to say. Also they share their real life location at this moment. And also they add the work schedule. Why not? They have to sleep. They have to sleep, by the way. Yes, and there is citizen part of the application. And actually our group liked the idea with the taking a picture when you have some extreme situation. And the person, the citizen has this app only for the case he's having some problem, right? So he just taking a picture, send it to, and then AE analyze, decide what hero to choose, which one is free, which one is not sleeping right now and ready to help, which one is the most closer. Yeah. Yeah, that's it.
Okay, and what made it fun, and why this collaboration was successful? What do you think? Like, how this happened?
I think that's because of that our ideas were similar, and there was ideas with quite different approach, but we tried to combine all these approaches and provide most workable solution. Yeah.
Okay, so similarities of ideas. Thank you, guys, and a round of applause for everyone. That was amazing. Okay, so you can take your seat. You can take pictures of your ideas. Okay. Okay, once again, sorry for our online audience. It's going to be a lot of noise. But yeah, we are sitting almost. Guys, first of all, I want to thank you. That was amazing to observe, and thank you for jumping in, being engaged, sitting on the floor, doing your ideas. It was really nice to see how you make it work. You actually met new people, you sit on the floor with them, and you were able to create something. If this is possible in 10 minutes with strangers, it's possible in product discovery with people you know from your project team and with people who you don't know from customers. So actually it's possible. Okay, some of the boring stuff, then we'll do short Q&A, and then there will be pizza, or so I heard. Okay. Okay, so first of all, Design Studio allows you to quickly understand the target audience. You are not giving a lot of time into research and going over and over and over and over again. You are just giving a challenge, who is the target group and for whom we are creating. If you want to do this more by the book, you can actually present the actual research you have about the users. That is how it's supposed to be done. And you aligning everyone on the team. So everyone on your team, when you were sitting on the floor, you were aligning each other. Like, I made this part, I made this part, this is how it works for me. And at some point, everyone knew how this works and what can you actually create. You were sketching, iterating, and you were repeating. You were just going over some ideas. I was seeing someone like trying to erase some ideas, someone adding new. So you are actually iterating. You also establish priorities. Not everyone's idea went into the solution, the final solution. So you thought like, okay, this is nice feature, but this is not going to the final solution. You made that call, so you made some priorities. And you were able to really rapidly prototype something, and at some point you could also test your solution with users, so that's possible. What else can you do here? Like, what can you add to the design studio to make it even more fun, to make it more suitable for business settings? Of course, you can use any guerrilla research, so it doesn't have to be always very thorough research. You can just go with something simple. This is supposed to be discovery. This is supposed to be messy. This is supposed to allow you to uncover some things. You can use sketching methods like crazy eights, when you are getting piece of paper, folding the paper 4 times, and then you're getting 8 pieces, and on 1 piece per minute you are drawing something. This way you are brainstorming 8 ideas in 8 minutes. There's a scamper method, when you are thinking, this is the idea that someone came up with. Now, what can I substitute, or what I can combine, what I can adapt, what I can magnify or minimize, what I can put to other use, or eliminate, or reverse. And this is what you were actually doing without naming this way. You were substituting some ideas, you were minimizing some ideas and impact they have. You can, for example, use the modified 6 thinking hats. So with, it's actually 5 now. And Google made all the bad changes. So you have 5. One person is designated idea generator, so they have to create the ideas. One person is optimist, saying, yes, this will work, this is amazing. One person is the pessimist, saying like, no way. This is the project manager, probably. No way, this will not work. I love all project managers, you know that. User advocate, so one person is designated designer, who is always user advocate, and one person is a developer, saying if something is possible or not. So you can assign those roles in the team, or you can use the natural roles of people and responsibilities they have. You can use impact effort matrix, or you can use $100 test. You are giving your participant in the workshop $100, and you are saying, you have 20 features. One feature costs $5. Make a decision what we are building. This is a really effective method with customers. Anytime I'm getting a very hyped customer who is building everything, I'm using this method, then we are building less. I'm leaving you with a quote that it doesn't matter how good your engineering team is. You can have amazing solution architects, engineers, developers, but they need something worthwhile to build. And you can actually discover together what is worthwhile to build for everyone, for business, for technology, for you as professionals, as product experts, and for the end users. There are some materials for you if you want to learn more about product discovery, if you want to learn more about the activities that we were doing. You can find the links here. And thank you very much. That was really a pleasure, rare pleasure to see so many creative people in one room. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Alex, for your great presentation and workshop. So let's start our Q&A. Also, you guys on our stream, you can write in the comment some of your questions, and I will read them to Alex. So let's start with some questions. Do you have some? Okay, I don't see. Okay, here's the question.
I have a couple of questions, actually.
Sure.
I'm usually working with NGOs and cultural institutions, so they usually realize they need a UX specialist too late. So we started with the project, and then somewhere in the middle they realize, okay, we can't deal with the stuff, we have to hire somebody so that somebody can help us. How do you scope the project when you are added in the middle or after the start? Sometimes I deal with the problem that I do the discovery phase fully, but there is no time to align everybody in the team about the discovery, I don't know what, discoveries. So we have to deal on on the trust a lot, so that if I say so, it means I have the research. And if they do doubt, I also can show them. But how do you deal with the situation if you are not in the same timeline with the whole team?
Yeah, okay. Fair question, and it happens a lot. So let me unwrap the last part. So when you are dealing with the fact that you don't have time at the end to actually share the discoveries, it was not proper discovery, because if everyone is involved, you don't need to share the discovery. But if you are dealing with some situation you cannot do this differently, I'm calling this nuggets of knowledge. There's a joke behind it. I will tell you over the pizza later. But basically, I'm sending something. It doesn't have to be the full report if we don't have time to actually read it, but at least email. This is the top 5 insights I have from my last usability testing session. Or on Slack, just post a message. Did you know what I just uncovered? And there are 3 top insights that I have. Something. Give people little nuggets of knowledge that you are generating during discovery phase, and you don't have to share only with your project team. You can share with everyone in the company. So people get this feeling that knowledge is something to be treasured, knowledge is something to be shared, and if someone got this insight, maybe I can use this in my project, or I can also do a research and then use it somewhere else. So basically share the knowledge in small parts, because sometimes it's not possible to actually share everything. If you are jumping in during the discovery, you have 2 options. Either go with it and just finish what they started and go with the ideas. That happens. Sometimes there's a budget constraints, time constraints, you have to do this. But if you can, validate. So get what they actually have, ask for the scope, and validate this with users, or validate this against desk research, against any data you are able to find, and show them. If it's completely wrong, I have this issue right now. I'm working with a customer that wants to build a chat for people with disabilities. It will not work. We know that now. We didn't know that before. It was also an issue with researcher jumping in the middle of a project and dealing with this. So right now we created research, and we have some insight. We show our customer why this can fail, what are the problems, and now it's on the, let's say, the boys in the court of the customer. They need to make a decision. Are we pivoting this project, or are we moving forward? But basically, it's really hard to debate with data. It's really easy to debate with people. It's like, oh, no, my opinion is different. I know how to do this. But if you show them data, like actual data, like 60% of users with disabilities are not able to use that chat in that form, or to use any other solution in that form, it's hard to discuss with data. So that would be my, let's say, advice, to actually get what they have. It doesn't have to be very pretty. Sometimes the scope is like 5, words somewhere. But basically get what they have and validate this with some kind of data, even if it's small.
Okay, thanks. And the second question was about the scope, how you're actually estimating the scope so that it's fair, so that it's not supposed to please you, but it is a compromise between your client and you, actually eager to discover and discover.
Yes, this is always hard, because we all have egos. Good designers don't have egos, but it's bullshit. Everyone has egos, so at some point it comes into play. Politics come into play with projects. So sometimes there are interests, like, oh, someone is pushing for more of this because we believe in this, and someone else is saying, no, this will not work. So basically, good method is to actually, there's a workshop called Lean Inception. Part of this workshop, you can Google it. Part of this workshop is creating a matrix when everyone is assessing importance and effort of a feature from business perspective. So stakeholders are doing this, product owners are doing this, business managers are doing this. From user perspective, so user researchers and user designers are responsible. And from technical perspective, developers and solution architects are responsible to make that validation. And then it's just numbers. It's actually an equation. You cannot discuss the numbers. Like we are not judging one feature, we are judging 20 of them. From the business perspective, user perspective, and technical perspective, then we have some numbers, and we are picking based on those numbers, not based on discussion, opinions, influence, power, politics, and whatever else.
Okay, thank you. Is there somebody else, or can I ask the third question, because I can go on? Okay, let me figure out how to... Okay, so that usually, you know, we are talking on the workshops, on the presentations about the ideal situation where we have, okay, different methods, we have plenty of time, and we have highly qualified people around us. The truth is we don't have any of that. Have you ever been in a situation where you have less time than you estimated? And how do you deal with the situation when you scope the technology, you checked it, but then when it comes to the solution doesn't meet your possibilities? How do you do the change?
Okay, so I'm dealing this on daily basis. I know. There's never enough time, there's never enough budget, there's never enough resources, and we are counting on people and they don't know how to do something. They also need to learn. What helps me is actually transparency. So every time I'm coming to a project and I'm seeing problems, I'm really transparent with the customer, I'm really transparent with the project team, and if something, this is a problem because we are doing this software for someone is paying if we are working in a software house, but even in product company, sometimes it's hard to say like, oh, we just burned 2 million because we made a mistake. But guys, this is agile step back. This is wicked problems. This wicked problems is an idea from 60s, ages ago, when you cannot solve a problem with usual means. So it's not like you are going to sit, think, and solve a problem. Building software, the software development area, building software, building products, this is really complex. And this is complex because it takes into account market, user, technology, business, politics, opinions, society, other problems. So there's so many factors that one person cannot track them all. So in order to actually solve wicked problems, you cannot go with waterfall. You need to go with agile. And one of the bases of agile is transparency. You need to be very transparent. If something is not going right, you need to tell everyone about it. And the other thing, when you are building software in agile, you are building in sprints. And in every sprint, you need to create small increment. So if I am going in the wrong direction, I should be able to validate after every increment if the direction still matches what we want to achieve. But if we are going Scrumfall, so the waterfall, but pretending to be Scrum, we are just building things, and you are not thinking like, oh my God, did we bring any value? Is this increment really an increment, or it's just bullshit because we need to deliver something? So basically, agile is the solution, but I know how hard it is to actually go agile in the companies. And I'm struggling with the same problems. I'm struggling with customers who are amazing people. I love to work with them, but they don't know how to work with software development. They are domain experts from different areas. So part of our job, and I think a lot of our job, is to educate people, like basically tell them like, this is the problem that is too complex to solve by waterfall. We need to make a lot of experiments and validation and make sure with every sprint, we are still going in the right direction. This is why we actually have those Scrum ceremonies like reviews, refinements, and everything. We are learning on the go. Retro is one of the ceremonies that is dedicated to learning and being able to understand if we are doing the right thing. Maybe we should adjust our process. Maybe something else is not working. Maybe we don't have a researcher, and maybe we need to tell the customer that without the researcher we'll not move forward because we don't have any data to base our decision on. Or maybe we need really skilled developers because right now we have 5 juniors and they are struggling. Sometimes being very transparent can be hard, but on the other hand, if you are very transparent and you are able to build the trust with your customer, at some point they will listen or they will move on. But still, it's better than being stuck for 5 years in a project that is not going anywhere, because it's burning the money for the customer and they will leave the company at some point. So Imagine right now, we have very tough economy. The companies that are leaving, the clients that are leaving a company, they are leaving because the project was not giving them any value. You were building some codes, you were building something, but that didn't bring them any value, so this is why they are leaving now. If you were bringing value for 5 years, they will stay. They will find the money, the budget, they will stay. But if you didn't bring any value, they will leave. It will be really easy for them. So yeah, that's my answer here. And I know I wanted to be more optimistic, but I also know the reality of the projects.
Yeah, thank you a lot for that. Anybody else?
I wonder if you have any advice on how to deal with not having access to end users.
Oh yeah, I know.
Because like working with B2B clients, corporative, yeah, it's not easy to reach them. So how do we learn what the user needs are when you cannot reach the user?
Okay, so let's unpack this. Sometimes you cannot reach the user because you are asking your customer like, can you give me access to users? No. Can you at least send them a newsletter with a survey? No. Can you do anything with the users? No. And then you are thinking like, oh my God, I cannot work here. But you have to. So either you are going through LinkedIn, because if you are talking about B2B customers, why they are hard to reach, probably they are busy people, they are people in specific industry. Go to the LinkedIn, find those people online and ask them. Just basically tell them like, I'm a researcher, I'm doing research. This research will help solve this problem. Can you give me 30 minutes of your time? Try to squeeze this time as much as possible, but ask them, basically ask them. I'm doing a lot of research this way because I'm working with B2B customers who are not able to share the client base with me for different reasons. So I'm doing this way. I know who is the target group, I'm going through LinkedIn. If that's not possible, if they are only CEOs and you have to pay them a crazy amount of money for research, even for 30 minutes, use desk research. There probably are some reports you can leverage. I know this is not the best data you can possibly have. Of course, the users would be better, but try actually going through desk research. Sometimes if you have a trouble reaching out to a user, for example, if you are in premium retail, clothes, perfumes and stuff, it's really hard to get the users because if they are paying 1,000 zlotych for, I don't know, piece of something, some scarf of something, they will not be happy if you give them coupon for 50 zlotych, right? So you need to find a different value. What is valuable for customers like that? They want to be special. So for example, give them a preview of new collection and tell them, if you help me with research, you can get a preview of our newest collection, or you get an invite for private event or something. They will say yes. They will not say yes to money because they don't care about the money, they have enough money, but they will say yes to other things. Sometimes you have to go over the customer to actually reach the end user. I know it's not comfortable, but first always start with the customer. Like ask them, show them the value, use McKinsey and use, I think Nielsen also did some research over this. A return on investment, how much money you can get for actually trusting the researchers, designers, how much money can get back to you. The official version is that for every dollar you spend on UX design, improvements around UX design and research, you are getting 100 back. So that's pretty sweet. And if you make that case to the customer and they still say no, try the other methods. But yeah, first go through the customers. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Do you have any more questions? Over there, okay.
I have a question if you have any tips or suggestions in the situation where we're doing an initial discovery. Everyone are in it. Everyone are happy. We have a power and energy and we're doing a kickoff. And we're starting developing like those first iterations. But when it comes to going back and doing a second, third, fourth round of research and actually going back to the code and recoding it or making some changes, then it's getting harder because there's usually never a good time to go back because like we still have a list of stuff that we've created 6 months ago. We still have to add more and more and more. We don't have time to go back. So how speak to those people who don't really believe in going back and like playing with those little details because it already works, right? So why bother?
Of course. There's also a known problem. And the answer is there's two levels to that. One level is every time you are getting on a bootcamp, they will tell you learn Figma or something like that. They're not telling you learn soft skills. Basically, soft skills solve a lot of problems. If you can negotiate, if you can be very open with your communication, if you can convince other people, you can solve a lot of problems. So anytime you're thinking, how should I invest my time because I'm already mid designer or mid in every role, and you are thinking like how to become senior, or you are senior and thinking about going up in your career, don't go for tools, don't go for methods. You can read about them in books. There's thousands of books, workshops. You can find it. Go for trainings, go for boot camps, go for any place that will teach you soft skills. Improvisation, for example, it's amazing. If you have any workshop with improv, it's really scary, it's really awkward, and it's like, oh my God, why am I here? But after the workshop, you are learning like, oh, I can work with not being certain of things, and I can work with other people better. So basically, work on soft skills. That's one level. The other level is, can you repeat the question? I lost my thought.
So if you just have any tips or recommendations how to speak with those people when you have those skills, like sometimes it's still
thank
no,
you.
I don't care.
I have my answer. Yeah, thank you. I'm back on track.
Sure.
And basically, the track is the keyword. Triple track or dual track. So when you are working in Scrum, you are working in sprints, and you have the backlog. You are taking something from the backlog. This is the sprint backlog, and then you are delivering something. There's an increment and going over and over and over again. That's one track. You can add other track to that. So you can add the track where designers are going back, checking things, doing some discoveries, redesigning things, and then feeding this into the backlog. At some point, developers will take it. But there's also a triple track. So imagine those designers also went back to the backlog, and they think like, I don't know enough. There's a triple track. So the triple one is discovery. You are just discovering new things. You are just looking into those gaps in the backlog. If you don't have the definition of done, if you are missing something in the backlog, you are basically first discovering. And this can take 6 months. It doesn't influence the actual development. It's a separate process. For 6 months you are discovering something, then you are feeding this to the design track. Designers are designing this, and only then it goes back to the backlog, and at some point it will be picked up by developers. It's not perfect, it's still a mess, but basically you are creating a space, a separation where you can have some space for rediscoveries and discoveries, and making sure that you know enough and that all the assumptions we have in the backlog are not the assumptions, this is the actual knowledge. But you are keeping a separation from the development, because yes, the project managers and product managers especially, they love their development. Like, I have a roadmap for 2 years. If you have a roadmap for 2 years, it's not a roadmap, it's a disaster. Roadmap is something you are creating for 3 to 6 months, like tops. And anything more, it's really a disaster. It will fail because the trends will change and technologies will change. You will pick a technology and then you will realize it's not possible. You need to do something else. So real roadmap, 3 to 6 months, and then you need to reevaluate if you are doing the right thing. And this how triple tracks and dual tracks can help you.
Awesome. Thank you.
Thank you.
May I over-ask the question?
Sure.
How do you make your team involve triple or double track when they're one track only?
And that's that's another layer of problem. So basically, you need a budget, bigger budget for that. Obviously, you are not doing. They are still the same team. Probably you will get bigger team. So you will have one researcher doing the third track. You will get some designers working on the second track, and you will get a designer who is working with developers on the development track. So basically a bigger budget. That's how you solve that problem. Not in every company. Product companies are using triple and dual tracks. Bigger software houses that actually have money to do this and working with bigger enterprise clients. And also the maturity needs to be there. So you know this Nielsen maturity of UX stages. So basically it's not only UX maturity, it's the product maturity. In very immature products, in startups, you basically are doing what you can. You need the MVP, then you have another round of investment and your product will live. But in more mature companies, you can actually afford to go triple track.
So it's actually in a high moment for the company so that they develop themselves enough so that they see themselves that one track is not enough for now.
Yeah,
okay.
Basically, yes. I know, only not optimistic answers.
Is there any steps so that we can jump into the next level with the company so that we're not waiting for them to develop?
Yeah. There is only one step.
Okay.
You need a person who will do this. You need a person who will get other people and tell them, guys, we need to change that because this is a bad way of working and we are tired. And then you will go through 2 years, you will get burnout, you will need therapy probably, you will have some health issues, but after those 2 years, either you will leave the company or you will actually change the company. And I'm wishing you the second.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you. I have 2 more questions from the chat.
Sure.
First of all, can you share this presentation in PDF?
I can do that, but where should I send it?
You can put in some public
So
for us, and we can put in the chat in the description of the stream.
Sure, no problem.
Okay, thank you. And one more question: can you please name the top 3 UX methods that you like to employ best?
Okay, good question. And
Tough
only
one.
3. Oh my God. Design sprints. I love design sprints because they are really messy, but they are bringing people together. So you are going to the customer, you are sitting together, you are swearing a lot, and there's like this bond that is forming. And after those 5 days or more, depending on how you are doing your design sprints, you are creating something. The act of creation that you are doing with other people builds a very strong bond. And the customers that I had a pleasure doing design sprints, they are still with me, they are coming back, we have a relation. They are always picking me over someone else because we bonded, because they trusted me, because they saw very transparent process. They saw how I struggle, I saw how they struggle with the same problems, and we actually built something. So design sprints for sure. Research, of course, my background is in research, so any research, my favorite research method. IDIs, so in-depth interviews when you are actually able to ask questions and then go deeper and deeper and deeper until you actually understand the problem, the context, the user, their needs, their fears, behaviors, motivation, and stuff. And my third method would be continuous discovery. You can find a book by Teresa Torres. If that's the book you will read this year, I highly recommend that book. It's about how to never stop with discovery, how to over-discover and discover and discover and discover. And she's also showing how to work with business. And we are struggling with this as designers. We are in our Figma space and, you know, design space and components and stuff. Sometimes we are struggling. This book tells you how to work with business, how to make them understand what you are doing and make them pay for what you are doing and see value in that. So. Continuous discovery and opportunity and solution tree by Teresa Torres. That would be my third UX method that I employ the most and love the most.
Okay, thank you very much. So, big applause for Alex. Thank you very much for your presentation.
Thank you.
Guys, please stay on your seats a few more minutes. To our viewers on the stream, thank you very much for your attendance in our stream, in our meetup. If you found this stream, this meetup, this workshop interesting, please hit the like button, subscribe to our channel, and follow us in our social media. So thank you guys, and have a good evening.